The best and most appropriate way to wrap up another amazing college football weekend is with the top 25 that actually makes sense. Appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Please like and subscribe. Check us out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, post-game, or at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get to the top 25 that actually makes sense. Let's clarify a few things. First of all, this is a resume ranking. These are not the 25 best teams according to me. Not the 25 best teams, the 25 best resumes. Should those be close? Should those be closer the further we go into the season? They should be. They should be rather close. The best and the best resumes. Also, keep in mind that this is a conversation we had a number of times this past week on the call-in show. Please give me a call Monday through Saturday. Let's say the number 20 team in the country loses to a top 10 team in the country on the last play of the game. These two teams battle evenly for 3.5 hours, and the game's decided on the final play of the game. Should the number 20 team actually fall in the rankings having lost to a top 10 team? Or does performing neck and neck, toe-to-toe with a top 10 team actually confirm, substantiate their quality? Or should that be judged actually worse than that same top 20 team in the country? Number 20 team in the country goes out and beats a 3-6 team, beats them by a couple touchdowns, and really nobody pays much attention. They just move on to the next game. Okay, they're number 20 in the country. They beat a 3-win team by a couple scores. That's pretty much what they should do. Wasn't a great performance. Who cares? Move on. Is actually that performance that actually would normally surge that number 20 team a couple spots higher just because they notched another win, is that more credible than the performance of taking a top 10 team in the country to the final play of the game? Food for thought. We reward the performance. Obviously, the wins and losses have to be acknowledged. You have to reward winning football. If a team, and this is ridiculous as an example, but it will never happen, but to make the point, a team could go out at this point in the season and be 0-10 and have played the 10 best teams in the country and lost to all of them on the last play of the game. Where would we rank that team? It would be a difficult choice. How do we possibly rank that team? But this is the case in point. So for us, it's a balanced approach that's realistic, that is rational, that makes sense. Thus the name, the top 25 that actually makes sense, because I got sick of looking at the AP poll my entire life and saying that it doesn't make sense all the time. Therefore, we created this. Number 1, wins and losses. Number 2, schedule, opponents. Who did you play? As this strange mechanism of Google or whatever is doing that causes the balloons to rise. Yes. Who did you play? And then number 3, of course, is the performance. Meaning, for example, a team defeats another team 28-27. Well, that performance is going to be evaluated by me differently than if that same team defeated that same other team 50-0. Different performance levels by far. All right, let's get to the top 25 that actually makes sense. Keeping in mind that we've got 3 undefeated teams in college football right now. We have 3 undefeated teams. They're all, of course, in the power conferences: Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M. We have 7 teams in the power conferences that have 1 loss. 7. We have 8 total, including James Madison. We also have 13 teams in the power conferences with 2 losses, so those teams are typically 7-2 or 8-2. 22 total teams have 2 losses. Then we've got the 3-loss factor. And at this point of the season, yes, there are 3-loss teams that merit consideration for the top 25. You may not agree with that, but we've come to the place in the season with 9 or 10 games played that there are 3-loss teams that merit consideration. There are 12 of those in the power conferences. There are 23 overall, meaning we've got 35 teams in the power conferences that have 0, 1, 2, or 3 losses. 35. We are doing a top 25. We have 56 total teams with 0, 1, 2, or 3 losses. So understand that it doesn't fall off the cliff in regards to my evaluation of these teams. I would love to rank every team in the country. That's the best way to do it. I believe that is the most representative way, and the fairest way to do it is to rank every team in the country, because you don't fall off a cliff in regards to your value just because you're number 26 in the country. And that's been one of the great fallacies of rankings through the years as well. There's been a top 10. For those of you who are not aware of college football history, there has been a top 10, and that's it. There's been a top 20. And there's been a top 25. So magically in 1989, media services, USA Today in particular, decided we need a top 25. Why did they do that? To sell more newspapers. Because if you create a situation where 5 more fan bases are interested in your rankings, then you sell more newspapers. Voila. Just to prove this point, you can look up these videos. I actually did like a top 37 one week. And you could not imagine the uproar. People were flabbergasted. What are you doing, Mark? This is insane. Top 37. Not because it was too many teams, because it was an odd number. But my point was the number is random. Again, if I had the time and resources, I would rank every team in the country. That's the way I think it should be. To differentiate properly, number 25 from number 26 is no different than number 24 from number 25. And keep in mind, up until this week, we've been able to incredibly honor head-to-head matchups. For the latest, we've been able to do it in a season ever up until this week. And guess what? We could still do it this week, but it invalidates a number of the rankings. I'm not going to go through a big explanation, but basically the ACC connection with Miami and Notre Dame playing and USC involved completely mucks up the rankings if we honor head-to-head down to a T. We could still do it, but it invalidates a number of the rankings in the teens. So let's get to the top 25 that actually makes sense. At 25, Pitt, 24, Cincinnati, 23 is Washington. Mizzou is 22, Iowa is 21, Louisville at 20, Virginia at 19. 18, Georgia Tech, 17, Michigan, 16 is Utah. In the top 15, we've got BYU, USC at 14, Notre Dame 13, Miami 12, Texas Tech is number 11. In the top 10, Oklahoma, Vandy, Texas, Oregon at 7, Ole Miss at 6. In the top 5, that actually makes sense, Georgia, Bama, Texas A&M, Indiana, and Ohio State at number 1. That's the top 25 that actually makes sense. Comments and questions go below. Keep in mind, if you've got a criticism, explain. Just don't say you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing. Make out your own top 25 that actually makes sense to some degree. It's not perfect, it's not flawless, it makes sense. We'll see you next time.